Athena, WWE's Ember Moon, is all elite. Will she have better luck? Cause Britt Baker buries both Ruby Soho and Toni Storm in 1 week, winning the Owen Hart Tournament. Masha Slamovich shockingly destroys Havok in 2 minutes, and wow, I really don't have much from WWE this week. I guess Tamother was 24/7 champion. Welcome everyone, drink about this is DS and this is Women's Wrestling Weekly. I'm wearing a harness for the Chicago's IML weekend. That's what this is about. But let's start with Raw. So we start Raw as Becky Lynch opens the show, and again, Becky Lynch does what she does the best, the storytelling. So here she tells the story of her and Asuka, where she handed Asuka the Raw Women's Championship match when she got pregnant, and she shares that she did that because she thought Asuka would keep it till she comes back, and she knows exactly how to beat Asuka. We then see Asuka and Bianca Belair each come out to cut their promos. Becky then cheap shots Bianca, leading into a 3-way brawl, and then we get into Bianca versus Asuka match following Asuka's kick to Bianca last week on Raw. Bianca versus Asuka surprisingly got some nice time on Raw. They told a great story of technique versus strength, where Asuka was coming up with all these cool submissions and Bianca found ways to overpower them. One spot I really loved too was when Bianca did her flippy signature jumping off the apron, and then Asuka followed it by hitting her top rope dropkick on her. That was glorious. At the end, Bianca was able to get a surprise win from Asuka, reversing her cradle, and then the moment Bianca wins, Becky swoops in from the commentary and comes in to attack both women. Solid match and solid build for their triple threat match at Hell in a Cell. I'm stressed. Next we saw Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop. Quite a random match. So WWE is building Alexa Bliss back. Here they played back Alexa's huge Money in the Bank win from back in 2018. In this match, Doudrop women handles Alexa with her size advantage for most of the match, but Alexa was able to use her agility to turn the tides. At the end, she kicks Nikki ASH off the apron, who tries to stop her, and hits a huge twisted Bliss to defeat Doudrop. I feel like this match should have been way bigger, and we completely wasted it on a weekly show. We're allegedly seeing this WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament soon, but we saw on Raw and SmackDown 2 tag teams take the L from singles competitors, so I don't know what the heck they're doing. I'm also not really sure what the direction is for Alexa, but it's looking up for sure. She's out here to regain the glory from 4 to 5 years ago, and we shall see how this all pan out. Overall, the booking for both parties involved in this match was unclear, so I'll just say I'm confused. We also saw a 24/7 championship segment during Miz TV where Maurice's return was announced, and we got surprisingly great back and forth between Dana and Tamina here, from Dana breaking off of the Samoan drop into Tamina connecting into a huge Samoan drop to pick up the win. It was so good. Tamina celebrated the 24/7 championship win by kissing Tozawa, but he betrays her by pinning her and taking the title away from her. Tamina should have totally kept that title longer, but for that great bit of action, I'll say it's gratifying. We then move to Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, where Rhea Ripley gets a new heel theme song. Thankfully, she kept that "This Is My Brutality" part so Joey can live another day screaming it into my ear. This match was great, action-packed match to build for a 6-person tag match at Hell in a Cell. There were some great moments like Rhea reversing Liv's jumping Hurricanrana into barricade, Rhea crashing outside and Liv's top rope crossbody to outside, and I also liked how they brought back Judgment Day helping Rhea block Oblivion, but this time Liv was able to bounce back from it. At the end, Liv reverses Riptide with Sasha Banks backstabber and picks up a surprise win. Actually, the referee didn't really hit the 3 counts, so I wonder if Damian was supposed to break the pin or something. Anyway, good to see women carrying this feud, and after this match, Damian and Rhea attack Liv and AJ, but Finn Balor comes in for a save with Liv Morgan hitting a huge top rope drop kick on Rhea and does a 2 sweet pose with them. Liv Morgan Bullet Club confirmed. Satisfying. Don't attack me about the Bullet Club stuff. Also, Lacey Evans was supposed to have a return match on Raw. It would have been perfect to have her return on Memorial Day weekend, but I guess WWE decided to disappoint all of us, the millions of fans, not delivering the match they promised. So, how's that for unprofessionalism, WWE? Let's head to NXT. The first match is Alba Fire versus Elektra Lopez. For the match, we see Cora Jade and Roxanne backstage mingling. NXT is doing a great job establishing their friendship organically as they're here talking about this called Jenna. I wonder if they're grooming them to be like the next Trish and Lita, Bailey, Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, the best friend rival. Anyway, Cora is then seen watching this match eating popcorn in the crowd. I love Alba Fire's entrance as she's gone full fire goddess, and even her baseball bat is on fire. Elektra surprisingly was able to get in some impressive offense in Alba, attacking her arm, but ultimately Alba overcomes Elektra with the huge super kick and Stanton in 3-minute match. Post-match, angry Elektra slaps the popcorn off of Cora. Good match? I'm satisfied. Next, we see women's breakout tournament semifinals, first with Roxanne Perez versus Lash Legend. It was a match you probably expected from these two talented ladies. Lash women handling the underdog Roxanne. Roxanne used her finisher Pop Rock to get the surprise win from Lash, and that finisher is just so perfect for underdog character like her. It was amazing. I'm satisfied. Next, we saw Fallon Henry versus Tiffany Stratton for the tournament, as Tiffany replaced Nikita Lyons because of the injury, and I went like, why Tiffany? Well, she goes on to prove that in this match, because she was so freaking impressive. Tiffany pulled everything in this match, including that fabulous over-the-rope swanton, and you know how everyone says she's like a baby Charlotte? So she did this move that looks kind of like a figure eight with the bridge, but princess version of it, blowing kisses to everyone. That was really cute. I also always sleep on Henry, but she did her part in this match. I like that she did the storytelling where she was riling up, but her knee gave out. At the end, Tiffany picks up the win with the slingshot dropkick in the corner and corkscrew Vader bomb, which she's now calling quite the twist. Love this match, I'm satisfied. We then move on to the non-title singles match between Mandy Rose versus Indy Hartwell. So before the match backstage, Toxic Attraction gets jumped by Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. My main focus of this match was to see if Indy can stand on her own, because she was so lovable with The Way and Dexter Lumis, but they're all gone. In this match, she was good, but I don't think she stood out necessarily. All the women in NXT 2.0 have their own characters and color. Indy's right now is that she lost her best friend and husband because they actually got released. But it's not like she turned heel, women scorn who lost everything. I need the extra oomph from her, especially in an NXT 2.0 setting. Mandy is Mandy. At the end of this match, Toxic Attraction comes in for an assist, but Katana and Kaden also come in to hunt them, resulting in a big brawl, and Distraction lets Mandy Rose hit the running knee on Indy for the win. Post-match, Wendy Chu shows up behind Mandy and hits her with a sack of balls. Yes, sack of balls. This match was fine.
Good. Not bad.
AEW Dynamite time. Thunder Rosa finally gets a proper time as a champion and had a promo heading into the championship defense against Serena Deeb. She comes out for the first time without the face paint and says this is the real her, and she wants Serena and the fans to see the person that hustled to become the champion she is now. She then says on Sunday the war paint is coming back on and she will make Serena Deeb pay for the disrespect she showed her, Toni, and Dustin. And get this, before she finishes her amazing promo, the theme song suddenly plays, interrupting her. And the moment we think she's finally getting a great segment, the respect she deserves as AEW Women's Champion, AEW had to up. Yeah, and you can see Tony Schiavone cringing when the music plays too early. You were so close to getting it right, AEW. Next we see Women's Owen Hart Foundation semifinals, Britt Baker versus Toni Storm, and I was so excited for this match, but I regret to report back. This match was a dud. Something in the air was just off. The action didn't really pick up. At the end, Britt Baker reverses Storm Zero into a pin, and we see a terribly timed dirty finish as Jamie Hayter was like rushing to help hold Britt's hands. And here, Britt Baker wins by cheating, eliminating Toni Storm for the tournament. On top of the disappointing chemistry, I'm also salty about this result. Toni Storm would have 100% benefited a lot more heading into the finals than Britt Baker. 100%. And we've also seen Britt Baker versus Ruby and Statlander, so I don't think the matchup is fresh anyway. For Toni, the combination of underwhelming match quality and losing to Baker undermines her momentum in AEW so much. So I'll say this match was a girl. Impact Wrestling time, we saw two matches here. First, the highly anticipated first real match for Masha Slamovich as she clashes against Havok, another powerhouse. And I could not believe my eyes when Masha finished Havok in less than 2 minutes. She hits a heck of a spinning heel kick, followed by a kick to the head, and ends Havok with a snowplow. I thought Havok and Masha could have been a full-blown first feud for Masha, so this was a huge shock for me. Is Masha just gonna plow through the entire division until she goes to the top? Again, I'm so shocked, and I kinda like how shocked I was. So I'll say, Satisfied. Next was Chelsea Green versus Jordan Grace. Jordan is someone that I pop for every single week because she's just so good. And this match, again, proves that. The chemistry between Chelsea and Grace was on fire, and I just love seeing the intensity from Jordan Grace with every move that she hits. And she finished this match with a huge Grace driver in an 11-minute match. Chelsea, of course, is so good, but I'm kind of sad about how her momentum kind of dropped after her storyline with Mickie James was wrapped so abruptly. The whole best friend storyline was where she was finally getting involved with the Knockouts action seriously. And after Mickie left, I think she's back kind of floating around Impact Knockout division. Either way, this match was really fun. Another great match to hype up the history-making Queen of the Mountain match at Slammiversary. Satisfied. Moving on to AEW Rampage, we got a main event, Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander. On Dynamite, we saw Red Velvet giving Ruby a notebook full of Statlander's weaknesses, including her knee and shoulder injury, and I thought that was really novel and cute. Ruby, though, tosses the book away. But we do see Statlander's weaknesses coming into this match, so I wonder if Ruby read the Forbidden Book or not. This match probably is Ruby's best match in AEW, and I'm so happy that following her sweet showing with Riho, Ruby's riding her momentum, delivering quality matches after quality matches. This match was action-packed, especially by the end. Ruby delivers an arm breaker which Statlander quickly bounces back from with a huge Falcon Arrow for 2, and her Spider Crab submission gets broken up by her weak shoulder. Soho then kicks Statlander's weak knee and gets the quick Oklahoma roll for the pin in 10-minute match. And wow, I was shocked to hear that the crowd was booing the heck out of Ruby post-match. They were so mad that Statlander lost. Couple things here. I think Statlander is one of the biggest stars that AEW has that they constantly overlook. She's like a giving tree, giving everyone and anyone their best match of their career. So AEW better give her the championship ASAP. But also, I'm quite shocked that the crowd turned on Ruby, especially thinking how popular she was when she first joined the company. I'm curious if this is something that's specific to the city or it will stick with her. That said, Ruby versus Britt is not the match I wanted. I actually wanted Toni versus Ruby, but Ruby and Britt do have the history, and it will be a good storyline arc for Ruby to get that sweet revenge on Britt Baker, and that win will be a huge momentum boost for her. And obviously, it did not happen because Ruby lost, so I'm a clown, and I'm gonna talk about this now. I'm gonna rant about this on Double or Nothing. But I also will love it if Ruby plays off of this crowd reaction and turn heel. Overall, I love this match and all the possibility coming out of it, so I'll say satisfied. Let's jump to SmackDown. Honestly, SmackDown looks empty AF without Sasha and Naomi, so they brought all the women on TV this week. We start with Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez rematch for God knows why, and Shotzi feels the same way. So backstage, we see Shotzi rile up the entire SmackDown women's locker room to tell everyone why Raquel is getting another opportunity against Ronda. And shockingly, Shayna and Natalya, the veterans, are the only ones that's moved by this rookie speech. And then they go interfere Ronda and Raquel match, ending it with DQ in 42 seconds. Shotzi, on the other hand, gets locked in the locker room as Aaliyah gets back at her for locking her up 3 weeks ago.
If you don't know how the door works, that's not my problem.
I love a good payback. Honestly, these aren't much, but I love these segments with Shotzi. She's such a delicious heel, and I would love to see her do more on SmackDown. After that DQ finish, the match is turned into Natalya and Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez. It was a short 3-minute match where we see Raquel pick up the win from Shayna Baszler with a Chingona bomb. Nothing earth-shattering here, but there were a couple of good spots. I liked when Ronda got out of sharpshooter by crawling her way to tag Raquel. But my favorite moment was when Shayna had that brief stare down with Ronda Rousey with the crowd popping hard for it. And I'm so glad that this is happening organically because the booking itself, if you look at it, made Natalya and Shayna look like some common heels when they both have such rich history with Ronda. So I'm glad that Shayna got to have that moment with Ronda because Shayna versus Ronda is probably the only feud that I'm really salivating from Rousey right now. Overall, this match was fine.
Good, not bad.
Let's go to AEW pay-per-view Double or Nothing. Gotta give props to where the prop is due. 4 matches with women. While the build have been not the best for the most part, but definitely something to be applauded for. So thank you AEW for doing this. But let's start with the TBS title match, Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. So Anna Jay shows up in an outfit paying an homage to herself for her first AEW Dark appearance when she had the whole magician gimmick going on. Jade Cargill is sporting fairly odd parents here with pink and green hair and is greeted with the Las Vegas Showgirls. This match was booked pretty last minute with like minimum booking, and like I'm saying minimum to be nice. This match unfortunately was pretty pretty awkward and suffered a lot from what I speculate is communication issue. Things didn't flow smoothly and felt kind of clunky. I did really like Jade Cargill's top rope X to Anna, but then this was followed by so many top rope spots that was kind of unnecessary. So purely wrestling wise, I prefer their Rampage main event match from February. This match though kind of picked up later when the outside assists started coming in, giving the big pay-per-view vibe. And then Jade doing the double DDT to the baddie Kiera and Red Velvet outside, Mark Sterling coming in to toss the crutch for Jade, but Anna picking it up to hit the Russian leg sweep with it on Jade, and John Silver, I guess, comes in to hit Brainbuster on Sterling outside. And when both competitors were on top rope, Stokely Hathaway, who was Malcolm Bivens on NXT, comes to distract Anna, giving Jade the opportunity to hit the top rope Jaded to pick up the win. I'm assuming that Stokely would be the new manager for the baddies, which I think is an upgrade for sure, and ultimately I think the match got pretty enjoyable with all the outside factors coming in. But the match itself had a lot to be desired, so I'll say meh.
Good, not bad.
The biggest thing I noticed though was from Anna, who first I gotta point out, she improved immensely. She's obviously a star in AEW, but I really need her to believe in what she's doing. You can see from her face that she's just kind of going through the motion and is calculating her next move. Show me that you're here to fight. So post-match, the baddies beat down Anna Jay, where then we see Chris Statlander comes in to go after Red Velvet, and then the fallen warrior, Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon of WWE, makes her debut on AEW for a big stare down with the TBS champion Jade Cargill. And I'm kind of like, holy hell, this match is gonna be great. I know how WWE transplants haven't been doing the best in AEW, including Ruby Soho, Mercedes Martinez, and Toni Storm. And I know I said this about Toni Storm, but I really think and hope Ember will finally be the Cinderella story in AEW. I think work rate and consistency are like two most important things in AEW, and Athena is just such an explosive performer in the ring and is very consistent with her work. So I think she'll rather quickly find her footing in AEW, so fingers crossed for that. We then saw Women's Owen Hart Foundation Finals, Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, and we've got some great entrances for both of them, Britt entering with Fozzie's guitarist and Rancid playing Ruby Soho's theme song to the ring. The match took a while for it to pick up as Britt Baker and Ruby Soho decided to build their match rather slowly. Some highlights from the match included the flying dropkick from the apron to outside, the superplex, and the curve storm, but the match didn't exactly hit the point that I feel like they really should have for the finals match until very end when Ruby Soho hits Riot Kick, now known as No Future, and connects it with Hart Foundation's Sharpshooter as an homage to Owen Hart. This was supposed to be a great spot, only if she was able to lock it in well, but unfortunately it ended up looking pretty sad. This is bringing me flashbacks from Trish Stratus' retirement match. After the failed Sharpshooter, Soho tries victory roll only to have Baker reverse it into Cradle for the surprise victory in 14-minute match. So when I filmed the AEW Rampage part of the review, I thought Ruby had to. She must win this, right? There's no other way. Anyone that's sensible that's booking this match will have Ruby win. I was shocked, pissed, and gagged to find out that Britt Baker won this tournament, defeating Ruby Soho. Yes, Britt Baker is one of the biggest stars of AEW, but she and Jade Cargill are the only ones that are built strongly in the division, with so many talented and charismatic women just waiting to have that breakout moment. Does Britt Baker benefit from winning this tournament? No, she was and still is the main star. Nothing changed. Would Ruby and Toni benefit from winning this? 100%. Were their momentum undermined by losing in the tournament? 100%! I just don't understand this booking decision to have Britt win the tournament, other than I guess they wanted their power couple Adam Cole and Britt Baker to win this together. This is giving WWE booking Charlotte Flair vibe, and that's not something I want AEW to pick up from WWE. I want to say I'm Confucius and girl at the same time.
Girl,
Next we saw Ty Conti with Sammy Guevara and Frankie Kazarian versus Paige Van Zandt with the Man of the Year. This was Paige's in-ring debut, and I have to say, I was very confused about some of the choices that were made. So take this, there are so many wrestlers out there with the MMA gimmick when they are not MMA fighters, right? Now, Paige Van Zandt is a legit MMA fighter who actively decided not to have any MMA gimmick or style when that's specifically what she's known for. Her gear was some local competitor create a wrestler call realness, and the moves she used were good by the way, but again, none of the martial arts style. I'm not saying that she has to stick to MMA style, but why not? I'm just confused about this branding choice, you know? But overall, her performance was pretty solid. Ty Conti and Sammy dressed up as Maleficent and her crow, I guess homage to Iconics at WrestleMania, and then they just started making out with the full tongue action visible, and I kind of lived for it. Like, I just gotta live for how unlikable they are now that they're fully healed. I think the fact that they're such an eyesore is just amazing. The match was really fun, a lot of character moments. I love how confused JR was with the spinning bellied back face buster, and this was followed by a random kiss time. And their partner Kazarian eventually turns on them during this match, and Sammy accidentally super kicks Ty Conti, which leads to Paige's team picking up the win. Again, fun match, and I'm glad Ty Conti and Sammy are fully embracing the hate. Stratified. Lastly, the fourth match, we saw Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's Championship, and I gotta say, huge shout out to Thunder Rosa's entrance outfit paying tribute to Texas elementary school shooting victims. She's also donating all the profit she makes from auctioning this outfit to help victims' families. So overall, so much love and respect for Thunder Rosa. Serena and Thunder Rosa came here to show what wrestling is. They said, you wanna see some wrestling? Here's some good wrestling. And this was some wrestling classic. You know, I don't usually get excited about mat wrestling, chain wrestling. I usually think of them as like building blocks to get to the more high energy action spot, but these two women wowed me so much with how innovative and fun they could be, all the way from Serena showing off her core strengths and Thunder Rosa's pendulum move, which I always freaking love. Serena really came into this match to show her 100 submission moves, and I was freaking living for it. I was in awe watching her. At the end, both Serena and Thunder Rosa goes on top rope, and Rosa hits a huge superplex connected into a Fire Thunder driver to pick up the win in a 17-minute match. This was a heck of a fight and technical clinic. Absolutely loved it. I'm satisfied. One thing I want to highlight was Julia Hart finally joining House Black, going full heel with her one eye turning all dark and compromised. I'm obsessed with this evolving look, and I'm looking forward to see what she does with it. Amazing. Thank you so much for watching this week's review. Who's going to Hell in a Cell? Because I will be there, so if you're going, let's meet up. Please say hi. Also, if you were wondering about my Stacy and Tia 1 interview, it's now on NBC Chicago, so you can watch those interviews there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye!